Hi, I'm Davia Chambers. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Tobago. Today we're at Tobago's Carnival Museum at Fort King George in Scarborough. Here at the fort there are two museums, the Tobago Historic Museum and the Icons of Tobago Museum, which are certainly worth visiting. Once again, due to COVID-19, the island postponed the usual carnival activities, but this museum is educating younger generations on our cultural heritage. So this will be our location for today as we bring you up to date on all that's been happening right here in Tobago. Now it's time to get started with this week's headlines. Chief Secretary Honorable Farley Augustine gets up close and personal with our equine friends on a visit to the Healing with Horses Foundation. The Tobago House of Assembly's Home Improvement Grant Program will tell you how many families are benefiting. Tobago enjoys a taste of carnival with a difference in 2022, and we hear the inspirational story about a woman who turned her passion for farming into a career. We have all these stories and more for you when Let's Talk Tobago returns. Stay with us.
Hi team, I'm Nadia. I'm a wife, a mother of two, and your transportation planner. I got vaccinated to help protect my family, my children, and to give myself a fighting chance against the war of COVID. My job takes me places. Every day I interact with over 100 workers in traffic management, the police, community stakeholders, and business persons. It's been too long. It's time to show COVID who's the boss. So, vax up, because protection starts with us.
Recently, Chief Secretary Honorable Farley Augustine paid a visit to the Healing with Horses Foundation, a non-governmental organization based in Buku that provides a range of therapeutic services, especially to the differently abled. Omodaro Mills brings us the highlights on the visit and its potential for additional benefits for Tobago. Have a look.
After a long day of work, Chief Secretary Honorable Farley Augustine took some time for horseback riding at Healing with Horses. Not only did he ride Princess Julie, the only Buku-born horse in the herd, Mr. Augustine also had a look around the organization's park, and he participated in some art and music therapy sessions. The Chief Secretary found the experience very stress relieving, and he's impressed with the work being done in the organization.
I see how many children are being helped through this facility. It's quite unique. I think it's perhaps unlike any other in the world, and I think Tobago has something here that we can harness, that we can sell, and that beyond sell, that we can show the world that when it comes to treating with children with special needs, that Tobago is a place whereby, you know, we are doing our very best with them, and that we treat them as human beings and with dignity and respect. And Healing with Horses really epitomizes all of those great things.
Healing with Horses was established in 2010. Proceeds from patrons fund the various therapeutic activities offered to children and adults, with a focus on nurturing people who are differently abled. Founder and president of the organization, Veronica Danza Lafortune, explains why Healing with Horses invited THA officials to come and see the services the NGO offers.
We really wanted to share our passion with our new Chief Secretary and of course with also our new area representative. And I was so honored that they took time out to come down and show their appreciation and showed their interest. And I think everybody who is here, right, was very, very engaged. Yeah, I think we were very impressed that he even took part in the aquanature therapy, that he actually took part in the art therapy, and that even he took part in the music therapy. And we could feel
that he's now part of us, right?
Both young and old were pleased that the Chief Secretary, Fali Augustine, and Assistant Secretary for Health, Wellness and Social Protection, Sonny Craig, who represents the Buku Mount Pleasant district, visited Healing with Horses, especially the children.
It was very cool that the Chief Secretary came here to see the organization and what we do here, and that they were riding on the horses and there were differently abled children here and everything. It was very cool that they came to support and see what's going on here.
Healing with Horses operates on 3 acres of state land in Buku. Over the years, the organization has also provided persons who are differently abled with job opportunities. The aim is to create an all-inclusive and caring environment for everyone, no matter your abilities. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
More than 20 families received grants to repair their homes from the Division of Settlements, Public Utilities and Rural Development at a recent check distribution ceremony. We have all the details in this report. Listen up. Several Tobago families in need of home repairs recently received $250,000 worth of support. The funds were distributed by the Division of Settlements, Public Utilities and Rural Development through its 4 programs: the Home Improvement Grant, the Home Improvement Subsidy, the Home Completion Program, and the Beneficiary-Owned Land Program.
The THA is not so much about just putting a roof over your head, but the THA is about providing for you an institution that your family can grow and develop.
First and second tranches of each of the programs were distributed to 28 residents. According to Settlement Secretary Assemblyman Ian Pollard, providing safe and affordable housing solutions to lower and middle income groups remains the mission.
For me, this responsibility is a personal passion of mine, as I have observed the quality of living of many of my fellow Tobagonians. While this division may appear small in terms of the number of employees in comparison with other divisions in the THA, our mandate is huge.
The recipients were also advised to make good use of the funding.
You yourself will have to play your part in keeping your commitment to utilizing the funds for its intended purpose.
And that they say they will do.
Well, just what I apply for it for, I will do the buy tiles to put on the floor on my house.
I'll use it, plan to use it to the purpose of which I applied for it for, and I plan to use it honestly and do the best of it.
The backlog of applications at the division amounts to approximately $6 million. Chief Secretary Honorable Fali Augustine says this list must be cleared. 12 young men are now certified after being trained to make fish pots and fish nets, equipment that will help boost Tobago's economy in the long run. Here's more in this story from Patricia Nicholson.
12 more Tobagonians ages 15 to 35 have a skill that will help boost the island's fishing industry. They recently participated in a program that taught them to make fish pots and fish nets. The program was hosted by the All Tobago Fisherfolk Association in collaboration with Shell. And at the end, the 12 participants received certificates. Fishing is a key industry for Tobago, so training courses like these are great opportunities for youth.
We have observed that in the fishing industry, that all the folks, all the elderly folks have the talent, and that talent was not been, or skill set hasn't been passed down to the younger folks. So we see there was a drain. So we decided through a collaboration of all the executive and all the fishing communities that this is a program we need to start to invest in. So we decided to invest in the youth.
It's a literal application of the quote, "Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime." And Assistant Secretary in the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development, Nigel Tate, believes training can boost the sustainable development of the island. He's assuring Tobagonians that more training of this nature will be offered.
And what the program have done by teaching you all how to make fish pots and fish nets. You all could catch more fish now, not only to feed your area, but to feed the entire Tobago. And I must assure you all that this program will continue to all districts in Tobago.
Chief Secretary, the Honorable Fali Augustine, says programs like these are the start of a parallel education system. It will allow residents to pursue non-traditional subject areas. Mr. Augustine is applauding the young men for taking a big step forward by participating in the program.
So, you young men who took the time out to learn this trade, you are the most critical part of the build out, because no fancy depot, no building or anything anywhere, no buying of boat is as important as you learning this knowledge and getting the institutional knowledge in terms of how to construct the fish pots and the fish nets. Please don't sit on it. You now have a skill that many others do not have. And I want you to know, young men, that we value the education outputs that you have given for this program.
The ceremony was held at Corland Bay, Turtle Beach. I'm Patricia Nicholson Richards for Let's Talk Tobago.
So we have to take a break, but when we return, we take a look at the Carnival showcase that was held recently. It's coming up next, so stay with us.
I am Anton Jordan, Building Superintendent of the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and the Environment. I took the vaccine because I have 3 children. I don't want to be wondering what happens to them in the event that I have to be hospitalized from the coronavirus. Right now, we are heading back out to work. More likely than not, we may encounter someone on the job either has the virus or has been exposed to someone with the virus. Please, we all have to do our part. Vax up. Protection starts with us.
Now, COVID-19 has limited the observance of Trinidad and Tobago's Carnival, restricting celebrations from the usual grandeur and revelry. The Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation staged a series of COVID-friendly exhibits and workshops aimed at affording persons in Tobago a taste of Carnival. Ryan McCool brings us the details in this next story.
Carnival has come and gone for this country. And while there was no physical public celebrations in Tobago, this time around, the island is still focused on preserving its cultural heritage. That's why the Department of Culture collaborated with the Tobago Festivals Commission and the Tobago Performing Arts Company TPAC on a blended presentation. Their endeavors provided entertainment and education, while showcasing the spirit of the national festival.
We coined 2 sets of events. One is called Outer Week Carnival, which had different placements on the island, so seeing an exhibition done at the A&R Robinson Airport at the branch office, and the other which is on display here at the head office. Additionally, we've added Mass on the Move, mass dance, and we visited several people on the island of importance and reputable fame.
The cultural stewards also engaged Tobago students, teaching them about the history and traditions of Carnival.
The division is very much interested in encouraging and pushing the children and our youths to ensure that we have preservation of our national heritage. Our heritage is important to us. The legacy must be sustained, and pandemic yes, pandemic no, we still owe it to our generation to preserve such a beautiful legacy.
TPAC performers ensured spectators at Fort King George had a fantastic Friday, through the staging of the Living Carnival Museum.
What we will be doing is taking the people through a journey of our carnival history and permeating aspects of the legacy and the expression, coming through the passage of things that were highly important to us, preserving our calypso, our performance art, our skills, the oral traditions, the narrative speeches.
Traditional mass and flash mobs reveled through the streets on Carnival Monday and Tuesday, while the Bagatelle Dotty Camp demonstrated the process of preparing for Mud Mass.
A lot of these arts, the way you play them, they have great meaning. The baby doll speaks about a woman who is a mother to many children who doesn't have a father. So it looks at the dependency syndrome and how you can fall victim to society. So it teaches you what could have been, what has been, and how you can look at it as a cycle for learning.
For more highlights on Carnival celebrations in Tobago, visit the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation's Facebook page. I'm Ryan McCool for Let's Talk Tobago.
So what's the story behind the traditional Fireman Carnival character? What are some of the creative skills that make Carnival one of the world's well-known festivals? Well, students in Tobago were recently introduced to several of these areas by the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation. We hear more in this story from Juliet James.
The traditional Carnival Showcase exposed the students and community groups to mixed media art and the art of wire bending. The showcase is geared at fostering a greater appreciation for traditional carnival.
Carnival is not just a festival for wine and dance and whatever. It is also an opportunity for innovation, and as you've seen today, we use the youth today to demonstrate their creativity and to show their budding potential, and that's important in creating latent talent.
The mixed media arts session was used to help the students develop their creativity. It also encouraged them to use their imagination to recreate a traditional carnival character, the fireman sailor.
So what we have done is cut out the silhouettes of the character, and we're having them use sponge with the poster paints and create a backdrop. The final step is glitter, however you want to glitter or decorate it.
I chose this painting because it represents the fire sailor with the flary colors, gold and the red and a little bit of the orange.
And since we didn't have any carnival this year, I thought this is a nice experience to make up for that carnival.
The participants also learned just what it takes to make a basic carnival headpiece using wire bending techniques.
Simply grab your pliers and have a firm grip. Start at the end, and sit back, make a turn. Here's where the little handstand comes in. You're not bend, cool.
And with the basic know-how, some participants share their experience and how they intend to use their wire bending skills.
If I have a project to do, I will do it good. And I'll tell my friends, or if I want, I can get my own one and try it out.
I could do my own and go out on the road and showcase what I made.
There are more young people here. I am one of the older few. And you can see their excitement, and I know that they would take it with them back to their respective groups.
The traditional carnival showcase created a platform for interested persons to learn and to recreate aspects of our carnival.
In order to adequately manage the island's water supply during the dry season, the Water and Sewerage Authority, or WASA, has implemented a number of projects to supplement shortfalls in surface-level supply. These projects are all aimed at improving water production and service to customers in Tobago. Here's more.
My name is Andrew Daniel. I am the Senior Manager of Project Implementation for Tobago Services.
Mr. Daniel oversees all of WASA's Tobago projects, like the Community Water Improvement Program. The program helps to improve the water service to areas like Concordia, Cut Hill, Roxborough, Canaan, and French Fort. One way WASA has been able to achieve this is through the use of booster stations.
A booster basically is intended to increase the pressure in your pipeline. What we see happening during the dry season is that at the extremities of the system, the water pressures will drop below acceptable level where we can't provide a supply into the customer's taps. Right? A booster will improve the pressures, particularly at the ends of the system, and so allow us to move that water from the water treatment plant itself through the distribution system and out to the customer.
WASA's midterm plans also include conducting major pipe installations along Hermitage, Charlotteville, and Plymouth Road. Additional boosters will be constructed to service Union as well as Southwest Tobago, while rehabilitation works take place in Goodwood.
All of these projects, or majority of the projects, are aimed at interconnectivity between the systems. The purpose and the aim of these is to be able to move the supply of water from your production source to your customers. Right? So we are putting in pipelines where no pipelines were before in order to be able to move, for example, Hillsborough water into the Corland system.
While WASA works to improve the island's water systems, the authority is also calling on residents to assist water conservation efforts. Persons are encouraged to value every drop of water and to ensure there are no leaks or wastage on the premises. Simply turn off your tap when brushing your teeth and try to enjoy shorter showers. This will help to make sure water is available in the long and short term. For more conservation tips, visit WASA's website at www.wasa.gov.tt. I'm Ryan McCool for Let's Talk Tobago.
In our next story, we take a look at one woman who's embraced her passion for farming. It's coming up right after this break. Stay with us. Let's Talk Tobago. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Mr. Rajman, Drainage Supervisor with the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and the Environment. The decision for me to take the vaccine was a no-brainer, not just to protect myself and my family from the COVID virus, but the public as well. On a day-to-day basis, I'm charged with running the Roxborough district, which I have to interact with 600 plus workers, key stakeholders in the community and the public. So it's time for us to really stamp out this virus and eradicate it. So vax up, protection starts with us.
Planting your own food is a great way to eat healthier, to save money, and to ensure you know exactly what you're eating. It's also a source for income for those willing to put in the time and effort. In this next story, we highlight a farmer who explains why she chose agriculture as a career. For her, it's all about family. Take a look at her story.
My father mine 12 children on gardening, and I'm the only one that took it up. And I went to Harmon School, and then when I came out of school, I realized now the passion is gardening, and I went into it, and I'm enjoying it.
Farming is like a cup of hot cocoa tea for Sharon Morris. This 58-year-old resident of Mount Grace loves being outside, getting her hands dirty and reaping the fruit and vegetables of her labor. Sharon says agriculture allows her to be her own boss and gave her the flexibility to care for her children.
It's also a source of income, and I have 3 children, 1 boy, 2 girls, and then when I realized, I want to be home, like when they come from school, so I start up the gardening, and I was doing some brush cutting to the yards and things around the village and so on. So when they come home from school, I wanted to be home, to be with them with the schoolwork and so on.
Miss Morris is a firm believer in growing more of what you eat since it reduces your food budget. It's also a healthier way to go.
At least you know what you're growing and you enjoy just coming out and pick your stuff. I will encourage people to go into it. Even though it's a small area I have, I just tell people, some of the flowers on them, put some aside and plant in the flower pot. Mix it.
Sharon praised the work of technical officers in the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development, particularly those in the Home Gardening Initiative as well as the Plant Protection Unit. Home gardeners and farmers like Sharon receive technical support and advice in cultivating their crops. This will ensure they can harvest the best produce. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Tobago's traditional sweets are favored by locals and visitors alike. Sweet treat business Snackle is presenting many of our old favorites in a new and tasty way. We tell you how they do it and what's in store for Snackle in the future. Here's more in this story. Tobago, rustic, authentic, full of potential. An island teeming with talented people, a thriving culture, and delectable dishes and sweets. Like Snackle, the local company adding a novel twist to traditional treats. Snackle is owned by Mount St. George resident Sade Titus.
Our bene has chocolate in it, so our bene has milk chocolate and most of the times white chocolate chips. We also do chocolate covered bene. Our fudge flavors range from Bailey's, red velvet cheesecake, mint chocolate chip, vanilla butternut, vanilla, so we do it in untraditional ways. They're all in shapes. I try my best not to do the usual shapes of just a square for a fudge. I have leaves, I also have fishes and flowers, so I try my best to be as innovative as possible.
Sade also makes tambourine balls and jub jub. She has big plans to extend her product line, and she's given us a sneak peek into what Snackle could look like in the future.
I would really like to someday offer tulum myself. I usually don't make it myself. So I would like to make tulum, but I usually don't make things that I don't like to eat. So all of my products, I can taste them and say, okay, this tastes nice. I don't eat tulum, so I don't make it. So I would one day probably acquire that taste. I want to start making pepper balls or lime balls because it's something very popular that people are asking for more and more.
A true lover of all things Tobago, Sade also recently launched the Tobago-shaped box.
I initially wanted a Tobago-shaped cardboard box that I can put the sweets in, like how you have chocolates, so you have these different sweets in this box. But I went to someone and they were like, because of the corners of Tobago, they wouldn't get the shape. So I worked with someone who is from Tobago and we came up with this idea for this printed box that we now have. This one is actually limited edition under Snackle, but I would be bringing out a new business called Bella Bago, and in this Tobago shaped box would be all things Tobago.
Sade says she believes in creating her custom orders with passion and love, so she has no plans to mass produce them. For orders, call 704-1145 or visit the company's social media pages on Facebook and Instagram at Snackle Limited. Well, we've come to the end of yet another edition of Let's Talk Tobago, and as always, we thank you for watching. Please email us with your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to visit our website, like our Office of the Chief Secretary Facebook page, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. For more information on the museums at Fort King George, Scarborough, you can contact 639-3970. From our house to yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and fantastic week. We leave you with a montage of the Chief Secretary's recent visit to the Healing with Horses Foundation. Do enjoy.
Representative